Three, two, one. Hey, everybody, this is Victor. I am here with Steven again. We're going to be doing a follow-up video, how Steven got another 48K net profit deal. If you've been watching me, you know that he had another one. It was like a 100K plus net profit deal. Still working on that one. We'll update you guys. But now he's closed on another one as of last week, just barely a couple days ago, closed on it officially. Now they're going to start renovations on Monday. Exciting stuff. But without further ado, I just want to turn over to Steven. How have you been? What's new?
Busy.
Okay.
Busy, exhausted, trying to figure out which way is up most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what day of the week it was earlier. I was like, I don't know what day of the week is it. I had no idea.
No, that's a good problem to have, especially when you're making as much progress as you have been. So just to like update everyone, you were working on, last we spoke, you were working on like this mold remediation property and have it under contract. How is that one going? How is that one going?
So that one, we were due to have, they had filed an insurance claim in reference to this mold that was in the house. Mm-hmm. When I signed the contract, their attorney had told them it's going to be 30, 45 days and everything will be settled. They're good to go. At 45 days came and went. The 45th day was on like a Saturday. So I got up with her on the following Tuesday. And I had heard from her. Slightly concerned. But I asked her, I said, what's going on? She said that the attorney had not even yet filed paperwork. And I was like, it's been the days, like what's going on? So anyway, the point is we determined that this was going to be a prolonged, indefinite ordeal with the insurance. Mm-hmm. So obviously I wanted my EMD back that I'd given her to basically not sell the house anymore. And then I told her, I said, look, I don't really care if it takes 6 months, if it's this winter, whatever, I still want to buy this house. Mm-hmm. So she allowed us, well, I offered, she allowed to sign an exclusive right to purchase. Great. So regardless of when it's done, I get first dibs at purchasing legit outright, of which I will do because that was a $110,000 property. Right. It was a $370,000 house on 185, mm-hmm. and he's like 20 grand rental. So, yeah, it's mine. And I don't care what anybody says. So that's still, it's on the back burner. It's mm-hmm. still in the works. We're just waiting. That day comes, we'll jump on it.
No, and that, I mean, that happens where like you're still working on a deal, takes time. I think my record is like it took a year once to get a deal done. So hopefully it doesn't take you that long on that one because it is a good deal. But at the same time, I totally get where that comes from. I totally get, how that happens, especially for the people, listening to this like that. It happens. That's real estate. It's going to take longer than you want. It costs more than you want.
It's going to be more expensive.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I think we're working on 4 months now.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
yeah, no, I guess
halfway there. If it takes a year, almost halfway there.
You're there pretty soon. Okay, so that's the previous deal we talked about. Obviously, you just closed another deal. I'd love to hear about that one. Like, and if you're comfortable sharing numbers, like how you found it, what you learned going through the process, and yeah, all that good stuff.
Well, that one is quite detailed. So, everybody that watches your inner circle pretty much has heard the story, but they probably don't know the ins and outs. Mm-hmm. I came across this deal on Craigslist a month ago now, probably, whatever it was. And I said it was late at night. It was like 10:30 at night. And I just texted the lady thinking that she'd probably get it in the morning. And she hit me right back. Said, yeah, it's still available. Okay. There were no photographs, only a picture of the front. Mm-hmm. But I know the area. I've lived in this town my entire life. I know the area. I know you live in that area. Like, people are like, oh, you live down there. Wow. One of the. So when I saw the purchase price, which at the time I believe was like $130,000, like, this has to be really, really wrong. Something seriously wrong with that. But I asked her if I could go look at it. She said, hey, it's open. go look at it the next morning. First thing, I jumped up, I took off over there, completely gutted. And so she also wanted to, when I got back, I asked her, I said, well, how much of an EMD do you want? That was like $5,000. You had always told me, do not let the lack of an EMD stop you from putting in a deal. I didn't have $5,000. So I'm like, most people, just like most people out here, if I don't have $5,000, how am I going to write her a check for $5,000? And that was the same thing I had until you told me that. So I didn't really know what you meant by that, but I know you had told me that. So, but you had told me 5,000, and I agreed with you, but $5,000 is just outrageous for an EMD. And I agreed. So I was able to negotiate with her over the next few hours. And I had talked her down to 112 purchase price, a $2,000 EMD. And I remember she texted me back. She goes, yes, I can do that if you can sign today. If you can't, so be it. Okay. And I immediately got on Voxer, and I'm like, to her, this is what I'm going through. And you're like, well, just go ahead and sign, and we'll figure it out. So she sent me over the contract. And by this time, it's probably 10:30. Then following, she sent me over the contract, signed it out. The very next, and the EMD was due by 5 o'clock the following day. So the next morning, I got with you and said, hey, I've got this EMD due by 5 p.m. and I don't have it, but I have a signed contract. Congratulations to me. Now let's keep it that way for 10 hours. And you immediately told me post for a JV in the circle. So I offered in the circle. I was willing to. Anybody that wants to make a quick free $1,000, I need $2,000. I'll give you back $3,000. Hit me up. And then you immediately just started tagging people. I was getting my phone was going off like crazy with notifications. And Gabriel, known in your group as Gabriel Harris, hits me up and he's like, hey man, what do you have? And I told him, I got a deal in this area. The ARV is roughly about 250, it's 245, 250 ish. It's gutted. I know I can put it back together for 60,000, and we're asking 112. I just need this $2,000 in this escrow account by 5 o'clock. And he says, is this deal Victor approved? And I believe we were on a 3-way messenger chat. Right. And you piped in and said, it is. And he's like, I'm in. And I was like, dude, the wait just. And sure enough, man, we bust out a little contract saying that I would give him the extra $1,000. And we had both had Wells Fargo Bank. So he zelled me over $2,000. And I immediately wired it to the escrow company. And suddenly, I have a house under contract. Escrow paid and everything.
Nice.
But then the real family fun began. Because his first question was, he told me, he says, if you need some help with the down payment, but no, I probably need that too. Damn, the down payment, I need everything. Qualified for financing. Needed a 650 credit score. I got 3 kids on it. 650, I'm sorry. So, I'm trying to slow down, but I basically asked him, I said, would you be willing to go into this JV with me completely? If you had the funds, I have this time, we talked for a little while, got to know each other, and he agreed that he would. So he immediately started searching for hard money lenders, and we basically had a full JV agreement to where I handle boots on the ground, the construction, the management. He handles nothing but the finances. And suddenly, I've got a house under contract with the EMD paid that is funded for purchase and rehab, and I haven't taken a dime out of my pocket for anything. And I was like, you hear about people doing this, and you're like, there's got to be a catch, or they had to. They're saying they didn't take a dime, but really, they really put in like 10 grand. No, it is completely possible. I did luck out for it to happen so fast, but it's absolutely possible. And the one thing that you and many other people said is if your deal is good enough, money will find you. And I have every bit of confidence in the world that if Gabriel would not have stepped up, somebody else would have.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But luckily he did. And sure enough, man, it was, so yeah, we did that and we got under contract. And that whole process is a whole story by itself because we had so many problems.
Mm-hmm.
The lender didn't like the way our contract was worded between me and the seller. They didn't like the way our JV was worded between me and Gabriel. They didn't like my LLC's business structure, articles of organization. I mean, they just didn't.
Everything, yeah.
Everything was a problem. And they would not use my LLC with Gabriel's money and credits with simply a joint venture.
Mm-hmm.
It was a useless piece of paper to them. They wanted him to be an active managing member of my LLC. And I had some reservations. Never met this dude. I don't know him. What I do know is he stepped up when I needed it, and he's already sent me $2,000, so he's not full of crap, right? So I trusted my instincts, and I rewrote my entire business structure, my articles of organization, my operations agreement, everything. Made him a minority owner in my LLC. So after back and forth, if anybody's ever gotten a loan with anybody, the documents, the paperwork, the statements, the this, the that, they wanted it all. We had to go through it. But through all of this, Gabriel and I had to speak every day. I mean, we were receiving 30, 40 emails a day with this company and with each other. And we developed, in my opinion, quite a good friendship. I mean, we would talk business and we would handle what we needed to handle, and then we would stay on the phone for an hour or more talking about anything and everything and the price of rice over in China. It didn't matter. So we developed quite a friendship. And then another part of the hang up was, and I did not notice this, it's completely my fault. I saw the date on the contract, and it did not process in my brain how close that date was. Mm-hmm. It was a 2-week closing versus a 30-day closing.
Right.
I saw May 10th. Okay, cool. My brain didn't realize it was April 22nd. Mm-hmm. And how close those were together. That caused a big problem. Right. Luckily, lending and title were able to bust ass and get it done for us. Mm-hmm. We were 4 days late in closing. It was supposed to close on Monday. They were ready. Hang-ups. It was tomorrow. And finally, they said we will be done on the 13th. Mm-hmm. 13th came, and we're sitting here on pins and needles all day long. And it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I got an email. Congratulations, it's done. All monies have been dispersed. I was like,
finally, yeah.
And I messaged Gabriel. I was like, dude, do you see this? And he's like, he didn't even have anything to say. He's like, I don't even want to talk right now. He just wanted to breathe his sigh of relief because it had been such a nightmare. But so yes, as of Thursday, this past Thursday, 13th, we officially own it. It's ours. Title. Obviously, when it's recorded at the clerk's office, and I went today and changed the locks to 𝐸𝐴𝐚𝐭's. Mm-hmm. So renovations, my GC will be getting the permits. Most people don't use a GC. This company, because it was our first flip, required me to have a GC. Mm-hmm. But Linda said we did. Yeah. From here on out, won't need one. They specifically said because it's your first one, you gotta have a GC. Mm-hmm. Kind of sucks because they're very expensive, but we worked it out. But he'll be going to pull all the permits Monday morning. Mm-hmm. And I have been spending the past couple of weeks while all this was going on and Gabriel was doing this thing, interviewing contractors, subcontractors, AC, electrical, plumbing. I've got people in and out of the house constantly. I don't even know if I was allowed to. That wasn't in the contract, but it was open. Like, yeah. Whatever. Yeah. We're trampling all through there, whatever. So the point was, when it closed, everybody's lined up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, and everybody's already been interviewed. I know who's going to do what, schedule. So that's probably going to knock like a lot of time off of the renovation process. Not having to search around for new people, except for the people that don't show up, which is ultimately going to happen. So that's how that happened. I mean, I went from, like everybody else on here, scouring every day, looking, to having one under contract and funded in 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then, due to my ignorance, 2 weeks later, not 30 days, but 2 weeks later, my LLC owned it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
2 weeks ago, literally 2 weeks ago,
mm-hmm.
I was scouring, wondering, when am I going to get my first deal? And now I don't know. It's just,
it's mind-boggling.
So fast. It's so fast. You know, it's like,
mm-hmm.
I haven't even shaved since then. And everything's already done. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I want to add a couple things because you're spot on. So you had a rockier funding period with the hard money company. You were using a different hard money lender than one of the ones I recommended. There was a reason for that. That's totally fine. And the second thing was that like shortened window and it being in your first deal, like not 30 days.
The shortened window was the reason. They were the only ones that could fund us in that short of time frame.
Yeah.
Everybody else said, yes, we can do it. We need 30 days. We don't have 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
They piped up and said, we can do it in 10 days. We don't care. So that's who Gabriel decided to do it.
So I just want to mention that because it was a little more rocky than it should have been, but you guys made it through. I mean, you own the house now, like you said, pulling permits on Monday, which is awesome. Also, just to echo what you said, I mean, you did this deal, you personally, like nothing out of pocket, like $0 out of pocket. Your credit score isn't that great. So, so it wasn't credit, but you found the deal. You're the boots on the ground. You're like the sweat equity person. I found you, we found together like a money partner, and you guys are doing a profit split. So exciting stuff, exciting stuff. You made it happen. So what were the numbers on this one? What did you buy it for? What do you think you're going to put into it? What do you think you can sell it for? I think you touched on it, but I just wanted to summarize it real quick.
Yeah. So, keep in mind when you're getting a hard money lender, they are going to send an appraiser to the house. They are going to put in their own rehab budget. Mm-hmm. And if it varies from yours, tough. Mm-hmm. You're going to go by theirs. I learned that. But I ended up purchasing for $112. Yep. The 2000 EMD went in, so that obviously took it down to $110, but it's still purchased for $112. The budget is about $60,000. I think the numbers came out to $58,000. Mm-hmm. With inflation of materials and everything, they allotted me $71 if I needed to go that high. Okay. I hope I don't need it. And then when I put it under contract, the comps per square footage suggested it would be worth about $245. You came up with $250, which is right there. Mm-hmm. Since then, it has went up 17 grand projected. Yeah. So we're hoping that Gabriel and I have both. Gabriel and I have both mentioned and discussed that we fully intend on listing. They're hoping to get 280 to 300. So 110, just say 60. That's 170 all in. Mm-hmm. Sell it for 280. So that's
not bad.
I'm not mad at it at all. Not mad about it.
Infinite return for you because you didn't put anything into it. I mean, you're putting time.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but still a hell of a start for a deal. Okay, you still have the first deal in the back burner, so that might happen in the future. You got this deal you're working on. I understand you have like another deal you just put under contract. Can you just tell us briefly about that?
Well, sure. The day of closing, I got a text, and it was somebody who knows what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And they said, hey, have you seen this property? Now, I had scoured over Zillow, as we discussed before, off market is preferred, but there still are some gems of people trying to get rid of stuff on Zillow. You stumble across one every once in a while. Mm-hmm. And so I got this text that said, hey, have you seen this property? And I opened it up and realized it is in the same neighborhood as the one I just closed on. Like it's literally This one's here, go one street over,
Mhm.
and they almost backed up to each other.
Awesome.
So that was on Mother's Day. Sorry, it wasn't the day we closed. It was Mother's Day,
Mhm.
last Sunday. So I texted the agent. And I was like, hey, da-da-da-da. I don't want to lose this deal. I want to see the house. She's like, well, it's Mother's Day. I'm not available today. Are you an agent? Not. She's like, you know what? Fine. I'll let you see that. This one wasn't open. And when I went through it, I was like, oh my God, this was built by the same person that built that one. You can tell by the floor plan, like everything's the same. The year is the same. The outside looks the same. The inside flooring plan is remarkably similar.
Mhm.
I said, I can use the number from that house, this house, and be really accurate and go really fast. But then when I ran the comps for this second house, the ARV was like 40 grand higher.
Mhm.
I was like, whoa. So yeah, I emailed her the she said I told her, I said I would like to put down an offer
Mhm.
as well. We've had a lot of interest in this place. Very aware. We require a 1% down EMD and a proof of funds.
Okay.
And I was like, "Er." That's me pulling the horse back.
Yeah.
I don't have a proof of funds. Like, how am I supposed to do it? Call Gabriel. Hey, this is the deal I got. This is the numbers. She wants POF. He's like, okay, so what? Easy for you to say, buddy. And he sent me the website that he sent out to everybody else,
Mhm.
and basically plug and fill the date and whatever.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden I had POS. So I submitted the offer and the POS. And I waited. Tuesday came around and I hadn't heard anything. I just sent her a little courtesy text. Hey, wanted to confirm you got my offer. And she's like, no, I didn't. Sorry, what? So I confirmed her email address and everything, sent it over to her again.
Mhm.
And the morning of closing, busy day, it was a busy Thursday because the morning closing, like 9:30, she emailed me and says, hey, I have a counter offer for you.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you until noon to reply and accept or not before we move on to the next offer.
Mhm.
We'll send it over. What do you got? Well, nothing to do with money. Because I actually offered her a little bit over asking,
Okay.
just $4,000. Apparently that wasn't. It was well within the Mayo. I still had room left in the Mayo, honestly.
Yeah.
But her only condition was she wanted to close with an attorney versus a title company. And I was like, okay, whatever. Little does she know that if the seller chooses the closing agent, they have to pay their own closing costs. So, okay, cool. So I accepted, we signed. So she accepted that offer. And then 4 hours later, the house closed, and that was just a crazy day.
Mhm.
So I went from nothing to house closing, another one under contract
Right.
in one day, and all within 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So God, this job takes a lot of time, but it's fun though. I mean, I enjoy it. Go for it.
Awesome.
We haven't started sweating yet.
Yeah, no, exciting stuff. I remember you telling me about that and telling me about the deal, and you're like, "Oh, I got another one." I'm like, "Whoa, okay."
Yeah.
I think the other condition, if I recall, was they wanted more time to close. I don't know if
Oh,
you.
yes.
Yeah, they wanted not. It wasn't 30 days, but 45 days. And you're like,
They wanted to extend the closing,
yeah.
and I was like, "Yep." That was the one request.
Hmm.
One request we just received from the title company and the lender was,
Yeah.
please give us 30 days.
Hmm.
And you want to extend it out a little bit more? I'm completely okay with that, and I'm sure they will be too.
Hmm.
So not a deal at all. I'm going to be busy on this first one anyway.
Yeah. No,
So,
awesome
yep.
stuff. So that's a great update because we did one of these case study videos a couple months ago, or like 2 months ago, something like that. You've made a ton of progress. That's amazing. That's huge. On track with your goals and then some, if I'm not mistaken. So that's awesome. With that in mind, like, would you recommend others work with me as well?
Well, obviously, I mean, I've been one of your biggest advocates. If anybody pays attention to Facebook, and it's all true. The only reason I can say it with a clear conscience because it's all true. Like I went from nothing and not even considering doing this to him hauling around for like a year to finally biting the bullet and going with you. And within, I don't even know how long it's been, 5 months maybe or something like that. I don't recall.
Probably
we've been working together.
Yeah.
Because we've actually signed up and made everything official. And yeah, like I said earlier, any question I've ever had has been answered. Anything I've ever needed, you're there. If I say, Victor, I got this, you'll tell me, hey, leave it alone or go for it, or I know a guy that can help you. Or even when I needed something with the mold down here, you're like, hey, I know a guy in Gainesville that would probably go up there. Like, it's like, what connections don't you have? Crazy. So yes, if you ever wanted to get into this business and get that guy that's actually going to lead you through the way, he's not going to do crap for you. I mean, you've already told me, if I do it for you, you're not learning.
Right. I can't
but
make
you will
for you. Yeah.
Will
guide you. Yeah.
You will guide, and you will be there every step of the way. It's like riding a bike. You're going to be there if you fall, but you're going to be pedaling by yourself. And it just damn sure works. So I know.
Yeah, I like that metaphor, the bike metaphor. I'm there if you fall, and yeah.
Other than that, you're pedaling on your own.
Yeah, I'll borrow that. Yeah, awesome. No, I appreciate the kind words, and I'm just very excited to see where you're going to go moving forward and getting more deals, getting more traction. You'll find out the first one is the hardest. The next one's going to be a little easier, and it becomes effortless over time. So you'll see that happen, and yeah, awesome stuff. And even your the second one you put under contract, I guess even third one, if you want to classify that, it was easier. Like you had someone to call, you had a money partner to call, boom, POF, easy peasy.
Fraction of the effort.
Yeah, a lot easier.
Fraction of the effort.
So it'll be like that more.
And the confidence too, because the first time you're like stuttering all over your own words, and the second time is like, yo, this is what I got, this is what I need, this is what you're going to give me. Yeah, it's happening. It's just, you can hear you talk about it all day long, but when you experience it, it's a different life. Really good.
Yeah, awesome. Then why should someone listening take action now?
Well, everything I just said. Like, I went from wondering if I even wanted to do this to, okay, I want to, but I have no idea how to get started. And I hauled around in that analysis paralysis for a year I actually knew you and was part of your Facebook group for a year before I finally took the step. And then once I was actually, because just simply being in your Facebook group, you don't really have access to it. You can watch other people do it and then trip over your own feet out here. But once I signed up and could actually pick up the phone and call Victor and say, hey, question, answer, all of a sudden, stuff starts happening. So I think I told somebody in the group the other day, I screwed around for a year, and I consider it a year wasted. So don't do what I did. If you have any interest in it at all, just do it. Shut up. Like, I'm kind of blunt like that. Just shut and do it. I'm telling you. If you regret it, then quit. But I don't want to hear you fussing that you ain't getting nowhere if you're not willing to do it.
I like it. No, that's awesome. Well, very cool. I do appreciate this, Stephen. Fantastic. Capture this next part of your journey. The first one, you got your first deal under contract. The second leg is like, hey, I got this first deal. I actually own it. We're working on the renovations. So awesome stuff. Any final thoughts? Any final insights you want to share with everyone listening?
I'm trying to be more active in the group post and everything. As you well know, I have 2 jobs. They keep me running 20 hours a day. I go from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. most of the time. So I don't really get on a whole lot, but I'm trying to actively get on. And I've had a couple of people like from the last Inner Circle group kind of hit me up, and I think 3 of them have actually become friends on Facebook. So, I mean, they're asking me questions, not so much about the work, but about you. Like, how do I do this? Should I get in with him? Should I join this group? did this really happen to you because of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Refer to Exhibit A, please.
Yeah.
Go call Victor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. If you want to reach out to me, plenty of people in the group have my information. I will answer the questions that I can, and then I'm going to tell you to go sign up. And don't begin until you do. Yeah, I'm not that mean, but
yeah, no, I got you. Yeah. Awesome. Well, very cool. Well, again, appreciate it, Stephen. Thanks again for taking the time. Really cool to see how you're doing so well. And can't wait till you get that first check in your hand. And, you know, then it'll be even more real. And it'll be like, okay, cool, let's do more deals. And it'll just compound from there. So excited to see your journey moving forward.
I appreciate it. Huge shout out to you and Gabriel both.
Right.
None of it would have been possible without either one of y'all.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, appreciate it. Thank you. And we'll talk soon.
We will.